Good morning. Emphasis on the good morning and the good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. And welcome back to Let Us Play. I timed that poorly. I thought ads were done. Oh well. It's good to see you all. Good to see you, Bad Rex. Good to see you, Step Zero. Hope everyone's having a good day. And Bad Rex, congratulations. You have won the crown of first for Christmas Adam. Merry Christmas, Adam, because Adam comes before Eve. I love that joke. There's the boo. There's the time delay. Anyway, yeah. So I'm all packed up. You can, if I go, you can see the blue hoodie on my suitcase there. I don't know if that's an appropriate joke. Father, what? Adam was before Eve. It's in Genesis 2. Anyway, what was I saying? Anyway, yeah, I'm all packed up. But my flight's not until 7-ish. So I figure I want to be leaving here around like 3. So in the meantime, Ebenezer Scrooge. Because I enjoy that 3-hour cab ride. I will not be taking a cab. I will be taking the subway to get there. I also have shortbread cookie made by my coworker. Did I find the Christmas present in the observatory? Yeah. Well, not in the observatory. We found it in the what you call it? The asylum. What are you? Door spider. So yeah, I was thinking to myself, I haven't had a chance to say good morning and actually have it be morning since the 12-hour stream. That was a wacky shenanigan. What spirit kid does he give you in the asylum? Oh, like the actual ghost of Christmas present. No, we haven't found him. You there, halt! The rules of the establishment clearly prohibit running in the hallways. Sir, I must beg your pardon, but if you look around, you'll see I have good reason to keep such a brisk pace. If you're referring to these blasted unrepentant making a muck of everything, I understand your distress, but that still is no excuse to flout the rules. My sincere apologies, sir. I will do my best to flee from my adversary at a more moderate pace. Good. That is all I ask. My name is Gerhard Brown, and as a warden, it is my duty to maintain order. I will say that if you feel so strongly about maintaining order, you could choose to assist me in dealing with this growing spiritual chaos. That would be to my liking, but I would first need you to lessen my burden. I used to be a prison warden, and I made it my duty to ensure all under my care follow the rules. A while back, I had a prisoner, Tom Derby, whose judgment prevented him from sending correspondence or communicating from the outside world while incarcerated in my facility. I see. Certainly at some point, even the most hardened criminal may have the legitimate need to communicate outside of the facility. His lawyer, if nothing else. Well, the man's daughter wrote to him once a week from the moment he began his sentence. He cherished the letters and wished to respond, but I refused him each time as his respect for my rules never improved. I figured that this would be a lesson for him that he would carry with him once he was allowed to return to honest society. This continued for many years until he caught some sort of sickness and died before he could be released. A horrible turn of events indeed. The man had true remorse for his actions while alive, and his spirit will not be tethered here or among the unrepentant. But his daughter still lives and carries with her the belief that her father never cared enough about her to respond to a single letter. You're a terrible person, Gerhard. How can I ease this burden? Surely a daughter should not suffer the faults of her father. I saved every letter Tom Derby received along with those he wished to send in return. You will find among them my official notices of rejection to his requests and send them out. Do me this kindness and find them and deliver them to his daughter. She should know that her father did write her back. I will seek out these letters and bring them to his daughter. Played yesterday in one of the early rooms of the observatory. The ghost of Christmas present explicitly, not the one that Scrooge met. Well, sure, it's different. It's different here. Tells you about the spiritual kids of mankind. Gives you courage. Oh, wow. I have not encountered that. That must be a room I didn't go in. These little as Gerhard Braun spoke of. Yeah, that must be... It's so slow. It's probably up here in this area where we didn't explore. It's the first large room you hit. Well, apparently we just never found the Ghost of Christmas Present in there. Oh, that's Metroidvania for you. How are you finding the gameplay, Step-Zero? Ow. Good morning, Kit. Ow. Get harpoons. Neglected corner where he hides out. Oh, okay. Oh, hello, spirit. You're there, spirit. I see you wallowing in darkness, but you are no unrepentant spirit. What are you doing down here? I know, not unrepentant. Not yet, anyway. I feel, though, that this might be my final destination, so why not get a start on it, eh? I think there's something supposed to be there. A trifle underpolished. It's fair, but, you know, not bad for a first outing. I was nothing but cheerful. I focused only on my own wants and deeds. So yeah, speaking of under-polished there. Just a whole text box being blank. Even those of my loving family never felt the need to spend time with them. Now I feel only regret for my neglect of those who loved me. When a spirit feels as I do, it's only a matter of time before they become forgotten and lost down here. Well, aren't you a cherry fellow? No doubt they remember me, but not well. Without my support, my wife Avril had to get a job as a night cleaner in the London Observatory, probably cursing my name as she cleans each window. Forgotten? I'm sure that despite your neglect, your family still remembers you. Please, sir, you must help her. Make sure that no harm comes to her. Avril needs to be okay, for her own sake and for the sake of our children. Spirit, if your wife is at the London Observatory, she is not safe. I've been there this evening, and it is swarming with unrepentant spirits. I'll make sure she is safe. I have no doubt I shall find my way back there sooner or later. I seem to be retreading a lot of ground this evening. Little meta joke, but not a too bad of one. It's not like he said, it's like I'm in a video game or something. Those are my least favorite meta jokes. Ow! Biggest change you have made is the map. Use a Stone style system. Where the room is lit. If you've been there. Yeah. Hey, Caesar. Worse than it's like I'm watching someone play a video game. Oh no! Well, no, I just sometimes in the meta humor in games is sometimes like the player or the character will turn to the camera and be like, "It's like I'm in a video game." Well, that was unfortunate. That was also unfortunate, but my fault. Last JRPG. What JRPG were you playing? One of the characters kept screaming, "Special move!" Oh, wow, that's obnoxious. I think I just stopped playing. Persona 3 Reloaded. Yep, I just stopped playing. In fact, the ghost stacks can level up is a nice touch. I have not experienced that. You simply didn't have that character in your party. Fair enough. Actually, what air? I don't need that heirloom on me right now. Like, I don't need the ring of water breathing. Sounds pretty contextual. Go to Ghost in the menu. Oh, I haven't clicked with their story and how many unrepentants. Oh, okay, I did see that. Oh, okay, yeah, the effects. Yeah, I did see that actually. I was so busy packing, I forgot to look at the readings. Ow. I just wanted the health orb. Where's my phone? Oh, poor St. John Canty. He's not going to get a whole lot of celebration today. It's his feast day. Ah, yes, his name will be John. Kind of fitting, because the whole thing with John the Baptist is he is the forerunner. He's setting the stage for Christ. We see that very explicitly when he's preaching, but it's still present even as an infant himself. And so the way the beginning go, oh, I can't step on that portion. The beginning of the Gospel of Luke in particular is intentionally paralleling the announcement of Christ and the naming of Christ and the naming of John the Baptist and the announcement of John the Baptist. In fact, it's done in a chiastic style, which comes from the Greek word for chi, the letter X. And if you arrange the passages like A, B, C, D, C prime relating back to C, B prime relating back to B, A prime relating back to A. And it was actually a very common method used in oral traditions in Greek storytelling as a way of kind of remembering the flow of things. Oh, hello. Hello there. You are rather dapper looking this evening. Have you taken stock of the current environment? You are maybe overdressed for a cavern filled with unrepentant ghosts. I wouldn't stray much deeper into this place. It's easy to get lost down here on the best of nights, and this certainly isn't one of those. Oh, thank you for the warning, Spirit, but unfortunately I have an important matter to take care of here. I was a mountaineer in mortal life. I just going off on whatever she wants. I spent a great deal of my time in the mountains of Bavaria guiding travelers on dangerous treks. I saved many lives in my profession. It seems a brave and noble profession, yet you are bound to the mortal world by chains. May I ask why? As a young climber and guide, I saw myself adventurous, but just as I saved many lives, many fell into danger and harm due to my recklessness. Some were harmed in ways that could not be healed. I understand well. Sometimes in haste, we take actions such as others. If you are eager to help, I would like to make a request. A young man, part of some adventurer club, was exploring here in the necropolis, but he's been lost for some time. I'd like to ask you to see him out safely. I will gladly help. I believe this young man is part of the scout brigade. I heard of his absence. Find him for his sake. This is a dangerous place, and I fear he in danger. I think there's an is missing there. As each moment passes, fear not, I will find the lad. Thank you, and when you return, I shall help you on your quest. Gee, I wonder if she has the grappling hook. Bit of jank, but solid seasonal Metroidvania. Yeah, that's about how I feel about it. I'm loving it. And the art style's great, so. Sir, help me, please, I'm lost. Do not fear, young man, I'm here to help you. I'll open the gate behind you with this lever. When it opens, move quickly to the other side of the gate and do not stop. Thank you, sir. I'm afraid. I'm alone, yet I feel like I'm being watched. Don't be afraid. You are a brave young man. You would not be here if you were not brave. Now go. Go forward and do not look back. Do not look at your wife until you have returned home. Hire copy editors. Yeah. Well, you know, even copy editors makes mistakes. The boy's name is Kip. You'll find him here in the necropolis. I think I just did. Oh, it's the spiders, person's face spiders. Shortbread cookie. My coworker made these because she found it at a vintage market, like a what you call it, kind of like a thrifting event, like a flea market or a swap or whatever. There's a really big spirit in the background there. Anyway, she found a, like, old school shortbread pan and was like, I'm making shortbread cookies. And they have this really cool, like, little embossed pattern on them. It's the front of Marley's ghost. I don't remember Marley's ghost being so big. Man, lots of unrepentant spirits become spider-like. It's reason enough to be repentant. Uh-oh, banshees. Yeah, it's shamed the same way, but it's a lot bigger, although that could be perspective. But maybe there's just multiple big old chain spirits. Meh, microphone. Or we've wrapped around? Maybe, but we're underground in the necropolis. The other one was above ground. Weird, creepy doorkeeper dude. the spirit world be weird. Yo. I got lost again. Not where I kept. I am here. Love a save room that has danger spikes next to it. You do know you've got a stash of healing foods, yes? Yeah, in the lower right? Or lower left? I know my directions. Well, that was an interesting glitch. But yes, I knew about the food. I have been using it. That's how I almost died during the fight with Frankenstein's monster, actually, as I ran out of food. Adam Frankie shows up in this game? Well, not Adam, but his creation. Or a it's the boss of the asylum. It is a stitched together amalgamation. And he hits like a truck. What? I was out of the blast range on that one. Oh, thank you for your help, sir. I was so scared. Well, safe now. Continue in that direction and continue straight home. Do not stop. Thank you very much. It feels good to know that I was able to help the lost find their way again. Let me know if I can help you reach your destination. I have experience helping people reach new heights. I'll be ready if you need me. Okay, so that's how you aim. Okay, interesting. Oh, the momentum on that's a little weird, because, like, you get going and then you just stop. This poor lost scout. I know, but he's gonna be okay. Okay, so we have an option. We can either go deeper into the necropolis, or we can explore other places we couldn't go earlier. I'm just gonna keep going through the necropolis. Okay, the momentum is a little weird on the grappling hook, but chaining it together with the balloon feels really fun. Ow. You cheated. Oh, that was a cheap shot. I'm just going to ignore the spider. Yeah, I would not be opposed to seeing another Metroidvania from this studio. I don't know if I'd want another Scrooge one. I feel like one Christmas Carol sequel is enough. Hello, random person? Oh, look very familiar. Is your name Charlotte? Yes. How can you know that? Have we met? We have not, but I recognize you from your father's drawings. You see, I have some letters for you. My father? How could you know my father? I didn't know my father. Your name is Charlotte Derby, daughter of Tom Derby. Your father wrote to you every day from his cell, but his letters were held back. He loved you dearly, Charlotte. I don't know what to say. Please give me some time to read these letters, and thank you, sir. What, the warden can't just appear to me and be like, ah, thank you. I will help you now. He's a spirit. But is spirit traffic too bad today? You don't belong down here. It's not a good place. Get back to the top while you still can. You can put your concerns aside. I have important business down here. You seem to have your senses about you. A rare thing, the spirits down here. I worked away from home for months at a time, laying down railroad tracks. One time, a journeyman I knew well, Matthew Wright, asked me to join his crew on a side job of an old tunnel. What I didn't know was the mining company had not secured proper permits or inspection, and the tunnel collapsed while we were inside. I was crushed. Such cruel passing. Your wife must have been devastated upon hearing the news. That's the thing. Only Matthew knew I was on the job, and he died also in the tunnel collapse. My wife did not know I died that day. She's been pleading with the city and my old company to start an investigation, but they refused to do so. An event so tragic. How can there be no investigation? It was actually. But it has never been disclosed to my wife. The mining company knew that there was extra man on the site that perished, but they took no action to learn who I was. Was there any evidence that I can tie your presence to the accident? I'd like to tell your wife, but I believe she would dismiss my testimony as the ramblings of an old fool without any proof. Well, there was the accident report, yes. It would be here in London at the city centre. The inspector noted that a silver ring was found engraved with my wife's name, Lorraine. That was my wedding ring. That's enough for Lorraine to know I was there. I will find this accident report and bring it to her. If it contains the details you say it does, it would be enough proof to show what happened to you. Thank you, sir. It will bring Lorraine and my children some relief to know the truth what happened to their father. Maybe there's another quest, or another step. Probably. She did say, give me some time to read these. Checking the quests menu. No. That doesn't exist. I grabbed onto the side, but not really, and so I slid down. That was weird. Again, a little unpolished. But I'm still having fun. And it looks good and it sounds good. Some of the soundscape's a little weird, but I think the music's pretty good. This feels like a boss fight. I have a feeling, yep, this is a save room. Ebenezer, I recognize the spirit. It's Victor Malthus, Casper's brother. Victor, we have come with a plea for aid on your behalf of your brother. Casper, you say? The name does not stir any recollection with me. Away with you both. Do you not remember your own identity or where you currently stand? I, sir, am none other than Victor Malthus, scion of the Malthus dynasty, and hold dominion over all that mine eyes survey. Well, Victor, you poor soul, you can't see that you stand here in a desolate and decaying cavern, far beneath the bustling streets of the city, with nothing but barren walls and empty echoes for company. Ha, you fool! It's the grand empire that I was promised to me by my dear father. It is mine to wield as I see fit. Victor, I implore you, if there is any shred of reason left within your troubled soul, we must put an end to this madness. How dare you show such impudence and disrespect? If you refuse to vacate these premises of your own volition, then I have no choice but to forcefully remove you. Oh dear. This feels like boss fight. Turns around and leave. Well, yeah, because there's going to be a save point. What? What the what? Ow. What? Stop that. Bad, Victor Malthus. Bad. No. Dang, he hits like a freight train. Yeah, suddenly bullet heck. Hey, Tantalus. You're almost there. Almost where? Yeah, the cutscenes are pretty easy to skip, although they don't have just a complete skip button, but that's okay. Maybe I should be using my spirit axe for this. Okay, maybe not the spirit axe for that phase, because that's... The spirit axe is a little slow. Oh, I'm out of healing items. Okay, so it does quick save every time you die. I am out of healing items. Do I want a suggestion? Do better? Stop face tanking everything? Yeah, but the problem is the lamplighter locks me in place. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Look. Activate the lamplighter. There's a solid second before you can move. Either way, without healing items, I'm gonna need... Time for a shopping montage. And his heart grew 3 sizes that day as he went shopping. This is where I wish they had, like, a quick teleport to his mansion item. Like, that would be really handy. I suppose while I'm out and about, back in the city... I can, in theory, also see if I can upgrade my magic and my health. Okay. Oh, there's a bell here. That's not too bad, actually. Is this where I want to be? No, I want that other one. Is it West London? Being able to see these on the map versus just a name would be really helpful. Oh, hey, it's changed to nighttime here. Planet room unlocked the elevator in the observatory. Only reason I remember planetary symbols was because of Sailor Moon. Well, there are worse reasons, I guess. Ah, dang it, I don't have enough mugwort. I'm 1 shy. Really don't have enough crystal glass. They do give you a bit of a hint on the difference between Jupiter and Saturn, though, because Saturn's got the physical rings on it. Buy a couple of turkeys, a couple of cold boils. Okay. Anything else we want to do while we're out and about? I guess we could explore the observatory a little more, because now we have the grappling hook. Okay, that's back down. So how do we go up? I may not be able to go up in this room after all. Because it's over here and it looks like we need some sort of a double jump. Well, that's unfortunate. I have a feeling it's the crypt we were in. Yep. Off to work. Hey, you take care. See you soon. I should have saved. Although, I guess the last time I did save was that save room? Ow. I walked into that one. I mean, really, he does telegraph his attacks pretty hard. So I just need to not... I need to not play this like Kingdom Hearts. Hey, Liz. Ah. No. Ah, I got too committed to that attack. Yeah. Got too greedy. Oh, now we're summoning 3 spirits. Nope, got greedy. Ow. Okay, we're down to the plum puddings. Not a sentence I expected to say when talking about a video game, but... Oh, barely dodged that one. Yes! Let's go! What happened? Where did it all go? Victor, please listen to us. It all fell away. There's nothing but rock and decay. Where am I? What is this place? We have a little time to spare. I'm sorry, but you have long since departed from the realm of the living. In your absence, your father tossed your memory aside and groomed young Casper to take your place. Because of this, your brother is on the brink of sealing his fate and dooming himself to eternal torment. Nonsense. My father is a man of great virtue and staunch holder of righteousness. He would never lead us astray. For that I am certain. Furthermore, he loved us all dearly. He most of all. Me most of all. We are not charlatans seeking to deceive you. I come to you with truth and the truth alone. I can prove this to you. Your military medals, you no doubt ensure that your family would receive them after your passing, hoping that they would be placed alongside other treasures of your illustrious ancestors and their achievements. Yes, of course they would be. My father was a great man of great pride, and he had every reason to be proud of me. I gave up everything for him, and he knew it. He knew that I would do anything to ensure the success of our family's great legacy. Come with us, Victor. Follow us out of this place. I will show you something that may change your mind. If afterwards you are unimpressed, you can return here to rule your imaginary empire undisturbed until you become a lost among the unrepentant. I will not help you with your efforts, but I will follow you so that you may be embarrassed by whatever you intend to show. Oh, Victor. Prideful to the end. Ow. Get harpooned. spirit tree. Please, sir, if you can see me, I need your help on an urgent matter. Urgent matter? What do you need? A while back, there was a criminal they called Street Shadow roaming these parts for years, breaking laws and hurting people. There was an investigator, Detective Alan Willard, who spent years trying to capture him, but was unable to bring him to justice. Are you certain Detective Willard identified the right man? Yes, the man admitted to his crimes to the detective in private, but there was not enough evidence to arrest or convict. You have a confession! So the Street Shadow got away with it, but he continued to commit crimes. Is this man still alive? I shall find him and help Detective Willard complete his work. The Street Shadow has since left the mortal world and now torments Detective Willard. Moreover, the detective is weak of spirit, and he feels guilty and responsible for the pains victims suffered because he failed to convict the Street Shadow. I imagine such guilt would make him very susceptible to the unrepentant manipulations. Yes, I can relate. I felt responsible for the death of my sister, Flossie, and it weighed on my entire life. The guilt took a toll on my health. Please find Detective Willard, rid him of the dangerous spirit, and implore that he forgive himself for events beyond his control. Double jump quest. I like when they tell me what the reward is like that. Where am I? Oh, this is the backside of the observatory that earlier I was like, I can't get through there. Eric, the grave is here. It reads Victor Malthus. That's impossible. This is not our family plot. This is Popper's field. Do you not see your father was consumed by his anger and disappointment that he didn't even think to give you a proper burial, if not for your mother, who fought tooth and nail to ensure that you were laid to rest with some semblance of dignity. You may as well have been left to the dogs and crows. My mother, but she... And look here, Victor. What is atop your stone? My medals. They're rusted and encrusted in rubbish. But they were meant to be a symbol of my achievements, of honor I brought my family. Your mother fished them out of the garbage, don't you see? Your father held no affection for you, viewed you only as a mere instrument to fulfill his own desires. Once your usefulness was spent, he cast you aside without a second thought. It's a harsh reality, but one that must be faced nonetheless. It can't be. It can't be so. Your brother has destined me to a similar fate as you. Even with your father's demise, Casper remains loyal to him and his vision. But fear not, I have a plan. I will take these medals and present them to Casper, so that he may behold the true nature of his father's intention. And I implore you, come with us on this journey, that we may show him the path that lies ahead if he continues to blindly follow in his father's footsteps. You may take my medals, but I cannot join you now. Please help my brother. Casper does not deserve to share the same fate. I intend to, with your medals and Lillian's letter in opposition, the embodiments of Casper's present and future, we have made great strides towards opening his eyes to the truth. However, to truly complete our task, we still require representation of his past. I can help. When Casper and I were younger, we were enthralled by the wonders of the library in the London Observatory. And there, in a high chamber, hangs a map of the undiscovered regions of the world, bearing names of the brave souls who endeavored to chart them. We, in our youth, jesting, inscribed our names upon it, but deep down, I knew that Casper's heart yearned to be an explorer, to break free of the shackles of his father's dominance and venture forth into the unknown. I believe Casper's map will spark memories of his former self. Does Casper's map still remain? Indeed, it has been many years since we last laid eyes upon it together, but I am certain that it is still there, bearing our youthful signatures, unnoticed for these many years. Let us return to the London Observatory and find Casper's map. Okay, so we gotta go back to the observatory anyway. But we also... Someone wanted us to go to the observatory... for something else. I haven't found the pocket watch. I haven't found the Bedlam medical files. I haven't found Street Shadow. I haven't found the girl to give the dress to. So, basically, because I need to have Street Shadow defeat it, get double jumped, get higher up into the observatory. I need to find Street Shadow. So, not into the observatory we go, but out into the streets. And the fastest way to get back to the streets of London is to go up to the well, not to the teleporter, but to the train room. Is this way? Let's just go to West London and explore. Because there's a couple places here, or like right here in central London, I think we can get to now. I don't think we can get there, but maybe we can come to the asylum and connect upward. That might be an option. Let's buy some food. I think I got what I need for these spirits, but we may as well visit them because we're here. Okay, we need one more mugwort still. I think we got some crystal for this, but not all of what we need. Yeah, we still need 2 more crystal glass. Knee biters. Couldn't go further down here because I needed the ring to swim, so why don't we do that real quick, just since we're here. The Malthus guards all of a sudden are having spirit energy around them. Apparently I can't go down that way anyway. Well, I'll tell you what, Twitch chat, I could do with a quick bio break, so let's just take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more Ebenezer in the Invisible World. And we are back. I wonder if I need to go down this way to get down. Aha! Oh, well, at least treasure chest. That's nifty and cool. Hey! Let's go. It's the Ghost of Christmas Past. So why can't I hear myself? Hello? Yeah, no, it's working. Never mind. I don't know. It's weird. Ebenezer, I am the... You can hear me? Well, that's good. It sounded like I couldn't hear myself through my own headphones for a moment. Ebenezer, I am the Ghost of Christmas Past. Yes, it's good to see you again. How could I forget? Your flames are much brighter than last we met. It's still early in the night. As always, though, they will begin to fade a little in time. If your time is so precious, why have you sought me out tonight? I bring with me a child of mankind to help you on your journey. How can she help? The girl's compassion. She will provide healing to you as you endure the darkness. Yes, let's go. Thank you, Spirit. Uses red berries from your inventory to heal Ebenezer. Okay, so is that like a passive, I guess? Like if I have red berries... Ebenezer, please. Grab a ledge. Oh no. Ebenezer. I don't have double jump. I never opened that way to Blackwood Cemetery from the other side. I'm gonna reload the room. Hopefully that works. Or I wonder, what if I just take the ring off? Ah. Okay, so that's deeper into the asylum, which I get there by teleporting. So let's go back to the surface and keep exploring London proper. Yeah, I haven't found the files, but I've been there. I don't know. That's gonna take double jump. I missed. That will also take double jump. Okay, this feels like a nexus point of the, underside of the Malthus factory for later on. So up is the Malthus factory, which we can't get further into because of the lava. There's a spot on the lower left there of the beginning of the Bedlam Asylum that we didn't go to. For some reason. Probably just because we couldn't. So let's go up to this train station. From here, there's something up and to the left and straight up. Okay, right, I found that. Oh, right. Mirrors. Although we could have just entered this room anytime. Oh, don't tell me this is the street entrance one. It is. I could have opened that last time. I hear the void is lovely this time of year. The little wave, it gets me every time. It's so cute. Hey, you're back. Firmly ensconced at work. I'm bringing a commander deck with me, by the way, Step Zero. Not that I think that would surprise you. What? Why did that? Oh, that did so much damage. Also, you missed it, but we found Ghost of Christmas Past. Bedlam Asylum is a reference to what Scrooge said about sending the homeless folks to Bedlam or something like that. Hey, there you go. Also good to see a hope. I wonder if the cemetery's a reference. Like its name. Like, obviously, the cemetery features in the work, but... Ah, yes, to the two folks pressing money. The cemetery we found that we visited, the necropolis. What's it called? Blackwood? Yeah, Blackwood Cemetery. I wonder if that's a real cemetery or a reference or what. Kid has redeemed a father joke. Well, just a word of advice. Don't trust atoms. They make up everything. There's another fellow, muttered Scrooge, who overheard my clerk with 15 shillings a week and a wife and a family talking about Merry Christmas. I'll retire to Bedlam. I think if I were to open a Catholic-themed barbecue joint, I'd call it Adam's Ribs. That's how you saw the Patrick Stewart Scrooge? Nice. That's a good one. I love that one. Ow. Just took so much damage. Okay, so that just links us back down there. Oh, you heard good thing. What did you think? Did you like it? I guess my other option is this room down here. I haven't been to its terminal point. So down to the right. Hey, we found the pocket watch. No, we found cufflinks? Ebenezer shoots a projectile if he dodges an attack using backdash. I don't use backdash. There's even a Henry Winkler one called American Carol. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's one of like most filmed. Oh, okay. I could have gotten up there except for there, without the that. Okay, so there are two ways I could go in. Cool. It's like one of the most filmed subjects, I guess. Like one of the earliest versions is Marley's Ghost, which was a silent film from like 1917. Down again. So this... Oh, it's just the door right here. I just never went through this door. There's the evidence that Jean-Baptiste Bernard was speaking about. I must take it to Samuel, the officer in London. I saw him near my house. Let's just try to get out of here alive. Fortunately, the fastest way back is the way we came in. Or that's actually another way that we can teleport. Scrooge has magic teleporting powers. It's canon to the novel, it's just not mentioned very much. It's like a footnote. Officer, I have the material that I think you should read. What is all this? You should have, what's all this then? We're doing a Christmas stream? No! No, I will not. I will not be streaming between now and next Tuesday, because I will be back home visiting family and on vacation. my flight's not until later today, so I'm like, you know what? I'm packed up. I got nothing to do. Let's keep playing this fun game. What's all this then? Reports from Bedlam Asylum. Please look them over. You will find people who need your help urgently. I have done what you asked. I have given the evidence to the authorities. I'll take the action. I'm sure of it. Your selflessness tonight will bring relief and closure to those lost loved ones in the Bedlam Asylum, and freedom to the innocents still captured. I would like to join you, Ebenezer. I welcome your presence. I am amassing a formidable party tonight, and I could use the help of a good spirit such as yourself. So in any time, let us continue. The night grows darker. Jean-Baptiste Bernard! When am I going to be back? I return to New York on the 29th, but I won't be streaming that day. So I'll be streaming again on the 30th. Huh. Maybe he's like a counter? I guess there's this room up here that I have two entrances I could do. New Year's Eve stream? Well, not like a... I'm not gonna do like a countdown to midnight stream, but I'll stream on New Year's Eve. But I've been invited to a New Year's Eve party, so... Yeah, I am not going to Times Square. I don't like Times Square on a normal day. I think I would hate Times Square on New Year's Eve. No, it's just in someone's apartment, so... Hey, we just got the last mugwort we needed to upgrade our health. And we are right next to the spirit that upgrades our health. How convenient is that? Is there such thing as a normal day in Times Square? Yeah. It's still overcrowded and terrible. I guess just shopping at other chains. I mean, that's part of it, but it is also like... It's worth seeing once at night, I think, because of all of the screens and everything. It's pretty bright. It's really... It's interesting to see. And there is an argument to be made about going there for the TKTS thing, but they have an office on 60th Street, so a block away from me, so it's like, eh. Because you can get discount tickets, pretty good prices. No, it is mostly shopping. But yeah, most of it's shopping. There are theaters, like, Broadway theaters kind of surround Times Square, so that's usually the reason I find myself there. The exception was actually just this last weekend. I was meeting up with someone who was in town. And they were at a thing in Times Square area. So it's like, well, I'll meet you there and then we'll go to lunch. Ow. But yeah, most of it is shopping. You know, there's... A lot of it's, like, touristy kitsch, like I Heart New York stuff. The most obnoxious thing in Times Square, though, is the people who will dress up in, like, Transformer costumes or Mickey Mouse costumes, and then, like, they'll photobomb you, and then they'll be like, you owe me $20 for that photo. Or they'll, you know, be friendly with your kids, and then you'll take a photo with your kids, and they'll be like, you owe me $20. It is pretty annoying, and it's always crowded. It is never... The only time I've not seen it crowded in Times Square is, like, when it's, like, early in the morning and the shops haven't opened yet. And usually, like, in a low... Like, summer and Christmas are two big tourist times. I mean, there's never not tourists in New York. But, like, if you come certain parts of spring or fall, it's less crowded. It's not crowded, it's just less crowded. I do love New York, don't get me wrong. I just don't like Times Square. New area. You want to be in New York? I want to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. If you won the lottery, what would you do at this stage in life? Keep being a priest? I mean, the nice thing about being a priest is I'm not doing this for the money. I can guarantee you that. Lurk. Hey, GameX. In fact, I actually knew a guy. He didn't win the lottery, but he was a day trader and he had made millions. And he was like, I kind of hate this and want to give back. And so he became a priest. Please leave me be. I tried to save you all, but I failed. I'm sorry. What are you doing to this poor man? Isn't it amusing? He cannot see me, but my very existence reminds him of his own failure. Try as he might to fight, his guilt will rise again and again and again. If I knew that death could be so much fun, I would have tried so hard to avoid it all these years ago. Hold yourself together, detective. There's an evil about. I am here to help. Right, boss fight. Ow. I didn't mean to use a turkey there. I actually tried to trick that one into getting stuck in the wall, but... This guy has a huge hitbox. Oh. Wrong spirit activated. Important note, swords hurt. Yeah, you know, I'm learning things every day when I stream. Hey, let's go. I missed something. I heard you say you didn't mean to use a turkey. I did mean to use a turkey. I accidentally used one as a Healing item.
Where did it all go? I no longer see these victims. I am guilty and have failed to capture the criminal, and people who were hurt as a result.
There was a malicious force here that fed and magnified your own guilt. I wish for you a path such that you may see yourself as others see you. A man that worked tireless for the safety of the people of London. Forgiveness is divine, and sometimes the subject of one's forgiveness is oneself.
I shall carry this message close to my heart.
Thank you, Ebenezer. I wish I had known to confront my own guilt while I was still alive. My behavior hurt not only me, but the loved ones in my life that shared my perpetual suffering. It seems to be that way with most things. To feel remorse is to hold oneself to a high standard. However, a higher standard cannot be the reason for self-loathing.
Let me know if you need my help tonight. I was an acrobat in life, and I went by the name of Rose Reed, part of the fabulous Reed sisters. Needless to say, I'm very experienced with defying gravity.
Double jump! And that actually, one of the other ghosts needed us. I've defeated Street Shadow. So I don't know why it's not checked off there. Maybe I have to defeat him elsewhere again. Ah, backside of the Malthus factory. But with double jump, we can now get further into the observatory. Hello. Accident report. April 18th. Tunnel collapse. Tennessee. Ah, here we are. An unknown John Doe with silver ring inscription with love, Lorraine. Okay, so now we need to find Lorraine and give her the ring. Are you using a baseball bat to hit grenades? It's an exploding cane. Oh no, no, I'm supposed to have the exploding cane. Yeah, I guess I go back to the observatory now. Choo-choo! To use monk power. What does monk power do? When does Christmas Carol take place? Yeah, Victorian England. I think he wrote Christmas Carol early to mid 19th century. Okay, so the monk just has an attack that hits everything on screen. Dang it, I missed. December 19th, 1843 was an instant hit. There you go. Yeah, I knew it was like mid. Not mid in the way the kids use it these days. fact, it was far from mid. Where? Stupid surprise spider hiding in the banister. Yeah, very much a story that was a commentary on the need of social reform, but also very much a story about salvation. I would use salvation and redemption synonymously. You don't think they're totally interchangeable? I think they are fairly synonymous. I think there can be nuanced uses of difference in theology, but I think by and large... Oh, I just went backward sliding for no good reason. Like, especially in the context of storytelling, I would use them fairly synonymously. I guess salvation might pertain more to the act of Christ saving us and understanding that. And redemption is our participation. I can't say it. Participation. Why am I trying to say that? Anyway, in it. Yes, but yes, salvation and redemption both come from Christ, and I fully agree with that. But I think they are both. It's two sides of one coin. One is not saved without redemption. One is not redeemed without salvation. Because we say, you know, the salvation that Christ has afforded to us, and Christ who redeems us. Yes, but again, like, you could reverse that whole sentence and it would remain the same. Ebenezer, we are almost there. The map should be just ahead. Are you all right? Yes, I am. This place brings back happier memories. I hope a part of it will do the same for Casper. boss fight?
Ebenezer, the map should be right over there.
Hold still, there's another presence here. Show yourself, spirit. Ooh. Unrepentant Ebenezer. Spirit? I am no spirit, I am you. What is this trickery? No trickery? Do you think all you have to do is throw around some money to some urchins and let the Christmas cheer and all would be forgiven? No, Ebenezer, Jacob Marley acted far too late. You could not undo years of selfish misdeeds that you have committed. I am the ghost of your future yet to come. Spirit, I do not know who you are, but I know you are not me. I am not dead. That will be rectified shortly. Okay, well that's kind of a cool idea for a boss fight. Oh dear, he's throwing comments and things. Ow. I'm out of healing items and I'm gone. Yeah, I guess this is kind of like alternate timeline, although I would even posit it's like it could be seen as a corrupted image created by the devil to torment and try and get Ebenezer to despair and give up. Anyway, we have to go on a shopping trip for montage again. So the big boss is the boss we knew all along? Well, it's up. I don't think this is the big boss because this is to get the thing for Christmas past. Or memories of things past for, what's his name? I forget his name all of a sudden. Casper. But I have a feeling we're gonna fight. We have to fight Casper's spirit, or the evil spirit that is corrupting him, that we saw in the opening cutscene. Because we still have all of the Malthus factory to do. But I think we're getting close to the end of the game, actually. However, I'm worried that if I can't defeat the spirit of not Ebenezer here, the problem is I'm now out of money. I have compassion. How does compassion work? You know, I might equip this, actually. Recover health over time. That might help. That might make just the right amount of difference. Where am I going? Oh. Right, I'm going back to the teleporter.
Down one. Take me back to the observatory, please. Ow. I was trying to get in close enough to use the fire spinner's ability there against that spirit, but kind of failed. Yeah, once you have a multitude of your movement ghosts here, movement feels really good. Like, bouncing off of something, off a balloon, to a double jump, to the spirit slide. No! Where am I? Oh, okay, that actually worked out in my favor. Why didn't I just do that from the beginning? That just... That made me skip that whole climb again. Ow. Oh, that was cheap. Bitch, I made yo cheats. Ow. Okay, he's doing 2 attacks at once now. That's, weirdly enough, a good sign. About the amount of damage we've done. Ow. Ow. Man, his electrical field has a huge range. Ah. Nope. Ow.
Okay, the incremental healing is helping, though. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I dodged that. Ow. Oh, that was just like a lot going on. Hey, let's go. I knew you were no spectre of my future self. Who are you? Well, Ebenezer. It seems you have found quite a collection of kindred spirits this evening. Ebenezer, careful. That spirit before you is Gaius Malthus, Gasper's father. Ah, so that's the one that showed up to corrupt Gasper. Gasper's the final boss. I see you possess the metals of my failed son. Soon, Casper will succeed in all the ways that Victor failed me. Gaius Malthus, your actions in life were reprehensible, and now in death you seek to corrupt your own son and drag him down your own dark path. We will not stand by and let this happen. You are a fool if you think your words can scare me, Scrooge. I am beyond redemption, beyond salvation. I am a force of nature, but you are insects in my path. My intervention here is purely for my own amusement. I grew tired of watching my unrepentant hinder your progress. You've been controlling the unrepentant spirits? How? I had always been skilled in controlling mortals whose minds had been weakened by greed, anger, or fear. The unrepentant are no different, and I do as I command. Now I will offer you a bargain. I was once a man of business after all. Cease meddling in my family affairs, and you will receive no further harm. You may even find benefits in the world that my family will usher into existence. If you and your comrades continue on your current quest, you will soon learn for certain whether you have brought enough good and joy into this world to keep it from being chained to it forever. Ooh. First try. Well, third try. Map. Here's Casper's map. Now we must be off to confront Casper at the Malthus factory. Ebenezer, stop. We should go no further. Why? What do you mean? We've all discussed the matter. Gaius Malthus' cruelty and disdain for his fellow men have manifested one of the most terrible, unrepentant spirits I have encountered. Even with my assistance and the aid of our newfound allies, I do not believe he can be halted. We cannot ask you to sacrifice your life to save Casper. Oh, good man, Ebenezer Scrooge. There are not many that would help a stranger honor a friend long since passed. Are you sure about this? Bah, humbug. Truth be told, I am not well acquainted with this Casper, and I suspect that if I were to meet him now, I would find him most disagreeable fellow. But tonight I do for you, Eric. If Jacob Marley had given up on me, I too would be on the path towards eternal torment alongside Gaius Malthus. But Marley did not give up. I will not allow you to give up on Casper. You're a good man, Ebenezer Scrooge. There are not many who would help a stranger to honor the... You've already said that! I am. I think something glitched. Who's Casper? Casper is kind of the villain. He's working on a device that will basically subjugate all the poor forever into being slaves. Now let's go to Casper at the Malthus factory and set things right. Thank you, Ebenezer. We will all be here with you. Ooh, cable car. That is a bouncy cable car. Would be terrifying to be inside. A little bit, yeah.
How many more? 50 enemies. I've only defeated 17 with him directly. Ugh. Hello? Well, I can't hurt you and you can't hurt me, so, Ow. Oh, yeah, the lamp guy probably would have been pretty good there. It's the MacGuffin device that the Malthus guy is making to do something. We don't know exactly what it is, we just know it's really bad. Save room. He's just making thread. Ah! I have a feeling it's a little more than thread, but it's not a mandatory stealth section, but I'm going to run away from it like it is. Oh, this cop has done me a heckin' injury. This level is a lot of fun, I'm not gonna lie, because it's basically every other level has been bottom up. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. Bedlam Asylum and the Graveyard were both top down, but this feels like I'm infiltrating the factory. Gain fight. Just gonna leave most of you alone. So long as I can jump around this large guard, like, and get some damage in, but there's one in that hallway that I'm just like, I don't know what I'm going to do about him. I'll do that. Yeah, that's not the way to go. So this must be the way to go. Large woman with frying pan that summons fire. Let's run. Hello? Oh, it's another one of the Reed sisters from the circus. Don't I know you from somewhere? I don't know you, do you? Aren't you a famous acrobat performer? Aren't you the dazzling performer that lit up every city from London to Istanbul with eye-catching performances night after night? Certainly not. Although my acrobatic skills have improved recently, I would, if I do say so myself, to the shock of many, I may add. You are not a headliner performer of an acrobatic family magazine once called Out of This World. Oh wait, that's me! Ah, a modest one to boot. Come to think of it, I do recognize you. I was the star of the most popular trapeze act in west of Prague. Yes, perhaps you were, but that's not how I know you. Didn't you suffer a terrible accident during a performance? Wow! Indeed I did, sir. You may find this hard to believe, but I was quite vain in life. You see, not only was I a talented performer, but I was also beautiful. In fact, I was obsessed with my own beauty. Let me put it this way. Any building I visited, I can tell you exactly where the mirrors are. You seem quite confident, lass. First in your talents and now in your beauty. Don't let my attitude mislead you. I was a fool. I measured all my value in my own beauty, and I paid the price for it. But beauty is only skin deep, and I realize now that true beauty is in the depth of a heart. An important lesson learned. Vanity is an enticing vice, particularly to those who enjoy the sight of their own reflection. I would like to ask your help. This young girl who worked at the Malthus factory, pretty young thing, engaged to be married, but a horrid accident left her with a severe mark across her face. There have been too many accidents, how terrible. After she recovered enough to leave the hospital, she refused to see her fiancé, Jack Ballon. She was appalled by her own face, convinced that she would be horrified by his scars. She hides anyway. She would prefer not to be found than to be found and rejected. Was the man truly that shallow? He was not. He visited her daily in the hospital while she was in a coma. He had already seen the worst of it and continued to visit her for many months. When she disappeared, he wrote her a letter proclaiming his love. It has not withered and begged her to return. This letter, I assume she has not seen it and that you would like me to bring it to her. Who needs talent when you have wits? Right again, sir. Find Jack's love letter and bring it to her in London. I wish that this will free her from the shackles of her own self-image. I can't talk to her. I can talk around her. Give me some. It looks like glide is what it just said. Should be handy. I can't take damage here? It's a weird stipulation. Oh, look, it's the letter. What is it doing in the spirit realm? I don't know. Excuse me, my dear. Are you talking to me? A letter has come into my possession that I believe belongs to you. It's from Jack, my fiancé. I was told that you should have it. I had no idea that Jack had written me, but I will read it. Well, that's that, I guess. Hopefully she'll see Jack's heart is pure. If not, we've done our best. Take a very casual approach to all this. Not at all. I just see no sense in worrying about what I cannot control. It's just my nature. We have done what we can. Well, I will be on my way then. I'm assuming my sister has offered to help you tonight. I'd like to do the same. Rose is unmatched leading in the sky, but I was the one with the most graceful landing. I gotta say, I did not expect a glide function to come in the form of a trapeze hoop made of chains. I'm not against it. It's just not what I expected. There's a laser. Why does this ghost have lasers? Where are my exits? Far left, okay. Guess what you can't swing at? Below you. Ah! Sometimes the double jump can fire off a little unexpectedly. The Malthus logo, the M, that's a bird. Really cool design. Feels very appropriate for the megalomaniac family that they are. No more lasers, please. And this level has fun platforming that's really tying all of what you have been, all the movement tech you've received. Of course, there's a room with rising lava. Why wouldn't there be a room with rising lava in this factory? Who designed this factory? this room a dead end? It is. So there must be something in here. So that's how Metroidvanias work. Hey, there's an arrow. Let's go. Elenda's arrowhead adds 50%. Okay. They can still hurt me during cutscenes. 50% damage bonus for 5 seconds after using attack ghosts. Okay. No! Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop freaking out. We found a... yeah, it's a 50% attack bonus for 5 seconds after having used an attack spirit. I had to quickly dash out of the menu because I discovered I could be attacked in the item get screen. Ow. Sniped. Okay, so this room... I didn't go down and right previously, but I think I want to get to the teleport room to activate it. Sir, hitting grenades with a baseball bat is not OSHA approved. You cannot be doing that in an active factory. I wonder if the lava will rise every time I come in here. No, it looks like it just did it that one time until I hit the lever up here. That's nice. Oh, that was unfair. What? Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't mean to go somewhere. Whoops. Might be a factory issued and OSHA approved. Did I look at the tag? I don't think you can do a lockout and tagout procedure on a grenade. Oh, we need one more lavender. We should have enough crystal glass. And more spirit power would be good. Back to the factory center. Just mildly punch my microphone. Okay, so there's another door on the bottom left of this area. Ah. Which I wonder if that's going to be a save point. Yep. There's a sign, but it's not telling me anything. Well, given that there's a save point in a teleport room, I have a feeling this is a boss room. Oh, it's Warren Gestrel. There's just a lot happening, and I think I need to take out Warren's helpers. Oops, that was the wrong spirit. Whoop. These big guys, these elite guards have so much health. Although, I will say, I feel like Warren's a little easier to fight in this arena, because there's more space. What? I could jump down into the lava. Why would I jump down into the lava? Dang it. Okay. Christmas compromise? Maybe. Okay, so the monk also heals me, which is nice. Only like 30, so not like a huge amount, but... every bit counts. Ow. I really wish this elite guard would go down already. There we go. So now I can just focus on Warren. Monk's healing is going a long way right now. Yes! Let's go till we meet again, Ebenezer. Give me my Christmas pudding. What do you mean? Oh, okay, there we go. There's the combination. 1, 5, 3. 2, 5, 1, 4. This is the worst Simon Says ever. 1, 2, 2, 5, 1. I did something. Well, Step 0 is redeemed to Candy Spin. We'll do that after this cutscene of whatever's happening. Oh, it's 3 doors to get into the inner sanctum. How fun. There we go. There's something weird. I know salty licorice is a thing, but peppery licorice. It's always a choice. Ugh. It doesn't quite taste like licorice. I don't know how to describe it. One, 5, 2. 2. 5, 4, 1, 5, 5, 4, 1, 5, 2. One, 4, ooh, 2, 5. It's like sour. 1, 1. Okay, so that's one more taken care of. I have a feeling the other one is over this way, maybe. I want to make sure that opened a door. Yep, okay, there's one left. And I'll probably be the boss. Oh, there's the pepper core. Woo! It found a hole and decided to say hello early. And these aren't even the sour ones. Oh! Whoa! Whoa! Woo! Maria's charm decreases spirit cost by half and doubles the damage taken. Oh! Not gonna lie, you had me in the first half. Okay, so that connects down there, which you don't need. Oh, that's a pit. Today we remember Father Evan, who died by weird Turkish candy. And no, it wasn't even Turkish Delight. I like Turkish Delight. It's hard to make. I tried making it once. Ah. Look what we have found. Four, 2, 1, 3. What? No, I did that correctly. One, 2, 5, 1, 1, 2, 5, 1, 4, 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. I feel like they gave
that one's pre-programmed as like a pity of having to do these 9 Simon Saz's. Okay, so we go back here, and then we go up. I might stop by the save room first. I'm just saying, based on context clues of what that room could be. Whoa! That's a giant mechanical elephant in the background. I just noticed it. Can we talk about the elephant in the factory? More lava rising. This is what we were, is this what they mean by rising action in talking about a plot? This is the final boss. Ebenezer, you found him. This is Caspar Malthus. Why, Eric, my dear fellow, it is indeed. How delightful to see you again. Caspar Malthus, I am Ebenezer Scrooge, and I implore you to lend me your ear for a moment. It is of great importance that you heed my words with the utmost attention. Ebenezer Scrooge, I am well aware of your identity. My father has spoken of your unwelcome interference and meddling in our affairs this very night. But know this, old man. What I have created shall usher in a new era of progress and prosperity for all. I understand that you may fear change, but rest assured that the world shall be better off for it. A world better off, you say? For whom, pray tell? For your workers? For the poor and downtrodden of the city? Who they too partaking your vision and progress and prosperity? What will become of them? Are there no prisons? No union workhouses? Oh! Cease this folly, Caspar. I have spent this evening delving into the depths of your past, and what I have discovered paints a different picture of you. Once you were a person who cherished discovery for its own sake, not for profit nor progress, but for the sheer joy of uncovering the mysteries of the world and the universe. What has become of that person, Caspar? Where has the passion and joy gone? Those were just childish dreams. Childish dreams. Caspar, I disagree. The pursuit of knowledge and the desire to better oneself and one's fellow man is not a mere childish fancy, but a noble and worthy goal. This is the person you were before your father got a hold of you. Haley, is it truly you, after all these years? I heard rumors of your passing. The news struck me with such grief, and I could scarcely believe it. Do you remember this map, Caspar? You and Haley inscribed your names to it many years ago. It was not an act of childish vandalism, but a vow to keep alive that part of yourself that burned with the desire for discovery and the exploration.
It was the promise that never left that flame to be extinguished, no matter how dark the world may seem. Haley said something! My father loves me. He was the only one who ever cared for me. Why is that a question? What about your mother? My mother? She only cared for my brother. When Victor died, she fell into such grief at the thought of being left with me as a child. That is one of your father's lies. See it for yourself. Casper? Mother? You are here? How? Casper, my dear Casper, I never thought I'd see you again. I've loved you every day of my entire life. Whatever your father told you was a lie to harden your heart and prevent you from straying from his ambitions. This is true, Casper. These letters I have in hand contain the proof of your mother's devotion to you. She wrote to you every week since your separation. Each one was kept from your eyes by your father. That may be true, and the reason for my father's falsehood eludes me. Yet I am also certain that he acted with my own welfare in mind. He has always been the protector of my well-being.
I thought the same once, brother.
Victor, can this really... What happened to you?
I thought that obeying his every whim, our father would find contentment and I would earn his love and respect. Yet I was not but a mere instrument to be wielded for his ambitions. And when I had fulfilled his use, he cast aside my remembrance and returned to thee, my brother. These medals were your brother's, which bore his witness to his sacrifice in the Malthus household's honor. Yet your father cast them aside, and your brother too, in equal disdain. The same fate shall befall you, Casper. Your future shall mirror mine unless you act with haste, lest you desire to witness your humanity ebb into the abyssal corners of the earth for all eternity. You must break free of your father's shackles and put an end to this insanity.
Casper, your soul bears the potential for virtuousness. Your past and present acquaintances have seen your goodness and held it dear. Should you continue down this path, you have seen the unspeakable atrocities that await your future. I, too, have trodden this path and have emerged anew. Should you require assistance, I and all those who care for you shall offer you aid. I don't know if I can.
What a feeble lad you are, still clinging to the shadow of your mother. You inherited more from her than I once apprehended.
Father, I'm sorry. My words were spoken in haste. I retract them in full. Pray, forgive me.
Fear not, Casper. Your father shall not take your liberty as he once did mine.
Keep your distance from my brother, Father. He will no longer be a pawn in your games of manipulation. We will keep you from destroying the goodness in this man. Your time in this world has passed, Gaius. Leave this place and do with your afterlife as you see fit. Languish as an unrepentant or contemplate your transgressions like the rest of these chain spirits. Whatever you decide, leave Casper out of it.
Well, Casper, is the path of cowardice and weakness really your choice?
Father, I can't.
I thought not.
Casper, please, be strong.
I warned you earlier, Ebenezer, that interference would lead to your demise.
Whoop. I really like the enemy design with this and Unrepentant Ebenezer, where they're using their chains as weapons. Kind of they're trying to use the thing that is imprisoning them as a weapon. It's ultimately futile, but Whoop. Okay, so those guys are homing. Ow. Ow. Okay, that's phase one. There's no way the final boss is just that. Yup.
Oh, he's taking on the form of the Ghost of Christmas future. Or Ghost of Christmas yet to come. Oh, there's a lot of lightning. No! Ah, he sniped me. Can I jump back to the second phase, or do I have to redo the first phase? I have a feeling I have to redo the first phase. Yep, that's okay. No, I was trying to... I was actually trying to move. Got stuck in place. I missed. I thought I was close. Well, that kind of worked out. Okay, phase one I can do pretty consistently. I didn't use a single healing item there. So that's pretty good. I don't understand this attack. Like, am I just supposed to stay down here, I guess? Ah, dang it. Ah, I was trying to use a healing item there. Really? More lightning orbs? Is that the best you can do? Because that attack is like one of these. That's 3 in a row. Four. Gotta lock in, chat. He's gotta be close. There we go. Not going in with a lot of health, so that's unfortunate, but I think I get the attacks in the second phase. We got Invisalign helping us out. Ow. Oh, one of them's glowing. Okay. I don't know which one it is this time. Okay, I have no healing items at this point. I do have the monk. There's not, like, a ton of healing, but, you know. Okay, I see it glowing way up there, but... I don't understand what's hitting me there. I guess his face? I am out of items entirely. Ooh, don't like hitting his face. Dang it! Ah! We gotta go in a shopping montage. Hey, Inca. Merry Christmas to you as well. Not to that rat, though. Are we at final boss? We are at final boss. Although we have to go do a shopping montage. if I can make it to the shopping montage. Yeah, I'm gonna be spending Christmas with my family, so I'll be staying with my parents. I fly out tonight. That's why I'm streaming right now. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm packed. I want to finish this game. Yeah, I've got one sibling. And then my grandma and an aunt. So it won't be a huge gathering, but it'll be a nice gathering. You're gonna be the appearance of your brother this year. You haven't been with Christmas Day for a while. Hey, that's great. Ow. These baseball grenade nerds who are the worst. Oh, fun. Celebrate with grandparents on Saturday. Very nice. Well, I thought I died there for a moment, and I was going to be so upset. Going to see your family a lot. That's good. Okay, so we don't have a ton of money. I do hope you find a new job soon, though. Being unemployed is not fun. Dang it. Don't have enough ether. Yeah, Ghost of Christmas Past was like, hey, here's compassion, but I don't know how to activate compassion. Which is that's a sentence. And an old friend Leroy died on the 19th. Oh, my condolences. May the angels lead him to paradise. Eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord. May the perpetual light shine upon him. May he and all the souls of faithful departed through the mercy of God rest in peace. I don't know how to activate. This is why I don't have a quote spot.
I was one off. Okay, that phase 1 went pretty well. I have a feeling Captain Eric is going to help out a lot here just because he's an uppercut attack. If I can aim him correctly. I didn't mean to double jump there. I don't know why my controller did that. His ugly mug is honestly the biggest hazard to me. Okay, we're down to our last plum pudding. Ow! What? That thing had despawned already. Why was its hitbox still active? Ooh, that was a lot of attacks in quick succession. Ah, dang it. I was hoping I could double jump there. See, this one's glowing differently, but I don't know if that means anything. Oh! Did we do it? Hey! Hey, let's go! Casper, it is over. Are you all right? Did my father become that wretched being? Oh, my dear boy, he did not become that creature. This is who he always was inside.
You disgraceful usurpers. Generations of our family have lived and died to bring about this age, and you throw it aside. You are no better than the street maggots I would crush beneath my shoes.
If you continue on your father's path, you would have devoted far more than that. If not for you, Ebenezer, I would have devoted my life to this man. It may seem daunting, but it is really not so hard. Goodbye, father. That should not have been Ebenezer? Hey, whatever. This game is a little scuffed. I still thoroughly recommend it. I have enjoyed this thoroughly.
Oh no. Now the sun is mad. I don't remember that guy from Christmas Carol. It's an interesting adaptation. Nah, it's a sequel. They had fun with this scene. I wonder if there's a new game plus. Hey! And they all lived happily ever after. Merry Christmas. And a Merry Christmas to you. I hope you have a wonderful... Oop, taking my microphone with me. I hope you have a wonderful and Merry Christmas. Thanks so much for tuning into this special edition of Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. I will be live again on the 30th when I'm back in New York. But for now, I am traveling. So I'm all packed up. You can see suitcase back there. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed fighting this. This was just a random thing. I recommend it if you like Metroidvanias. You can do worse. Yeah, I hope you have a wonderful and Merry Christmas. And if I don't see you, I hope you have a Happy New Year as well. Thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, all that good jazz. Let's see who's live that we can raid into. We're going to raid into Sully because she's playing Kingdom Hearts, and I like Kingdom Hearts. Raid call is either Father Raid, Merry Christmas, or Merry Christmas Adam, because you have Adam and then Eve. I like that joke a lot. Anyway, hope you have a great rest of your day and a great Christmas. Take care, and God bless.